following stories come from the Philippines, a country consisting of over 7,000 islands, all with their own beliefs, their superstition, and their own lore. It's a country full of people who believe in most of these things, and it's going to be the second video of my international series. This video's primary format is that based on ghost stories. There will be more later for creatures such as Aswang, Tikbalang, Duende, but I'm trying to keep this one focused just for the ghost stories for y'all. Don't worry, there will be more videos based on Philippine legends. So sit back and I hope you enjoy. Number 1. Context about why I think like that, especially to the people around me. I'm from the Philippines, where the paranormal always reigns supreme over logical thinking. There are a lot of people here with very superstitious beliefs and believe that prayer and being blessed by a priest will make everything wrong in your life suddenly go away. So, with that said, to give some context, I can see spirits and sometimes hear them, to the point that I can't differentiate if they're actually real people. The only time I know they're actually spirits is if they actually look dead. There's a period of time in my freshman year that I could see spirits roaming around our building. My school is notorious for having a lot of spirits because it's really old. So, during one of my classes, I saw three girls inside the room. I could obviously tell they were spirits because they wore this old uniform that looked torn and dirty. But then they all turned towards me, and it's one of the most horrifying things that even now still haunt me. Their faces were all bloody and looked beat up, as if they had a wide grin that looked like they were laughing permanently. I was so scared that I was shaking to the point that my seatmate next to me noticed. Eventually they were all tense and I was close to tears since the spirits were near my face and I could see them even with my eyes closed. I could hear them saying depressing things. I don't remember much about what they said anymore, but I know it was scary enough to drive me to tears. My teacher noticed that people around me were moving away, and they told our teacher what was going on. I'm in a Catholic school, so the immediate thing they did was give me rosaries and crosses to hold until the end of class. When my mom fetched me, I told her I was freaking out because I saw these three spirits that scared me too much. So we went home and I was still bothered from what I saw that I could still see and hear the spirits. My family then contacted a spiritista, or a spirit person who can communicate with the spirits, similar to a medium. While waiting, I remember that they wanted me to cite a prayer, but somehow I couldn't. And they made me hold on to a rosary, but I felt like I didn't want to and it felt itchy to hold. After that, the spirit person came and could feel this off energy about me. After writing something on this paper and putting it in my hand, I passed out. What my family told me afterwards was that I was talking in this old Spanish accent and dialect, and I was thrashing about in immense pain. They told me that the spirit person wasn't putting intense pressure to put me into pain, but rather it was what he wrote that was giving the spirits inside of me pain. They told me then afterwards that the spirit person got to know who was inside of me, and it was all three of the girls. The spirit person asked what they wanted from me, why did they say such things to me, and why they wanted to be inside of me, and even asked for their names. To cut this part short, the spirit person got them out of me and told me that I'd be okay. When the spirit person got them out, I was already starting to wake up, even I had zero recollection of what was happening. Either way, after this incident, I was told by the spirit person to wear a special amulet, and the thing inside, it was the paper he wrote that would protect me from any paranormal events. Currently, I don't see spirits anymore, but I don't wear the amulet as well. But there's still times I feel off from certain places in my school and can still feel the occasional cold spots. Number 2. It's when I was in high school. Only one person ever believed me, but I swore in my life this is 100% true. When I was a freshman, there was this urban legend going around the school. Apparently, some girl killed herself in one of the stalls in the third floor bathroom, and now she haunts that stall. Yeah, I know, typical high school, too spooky for me bullshit, but that's what I thought too. Well, one night after soccer practice, I realized I left my Game Boy in my classroom, so I ran back to get it from the desk. I was all alone in the hallways after getting my Game Boy. Thankfully, no one decided to steal it. I decided to head home. I don't know if it's because of all the water I drank at practice or just getting nervous walking alone in a creepy school, but I really needed to go. The hallway in front of the bathroom was wet. Some idiot smashed a window a few days ago and it just rained, so that's probably why. Just my luck. There was a wet floor sign and a mop and a bucket in front of the boys' bathroom. Probably the custodian cleaning the mess in the hallway. Well, since no one is around and I really don't want to get yelled at by the crabby custodian again, I went inside the girls' bathroom. That was my first mistake. My second was remembering that stupid rumor. I realized that it's supposed to be at the haunted bathroom. With my fly unzipped, ready to go. It's just a stupid story, only a moron could believe that, I reassured myself. Then I heard it. Footsteps. Coming closer and closer. The sound is wrong, though. It isn't the custodian, since he always wears these heavy boots that stomped in the hallways. It's lighter, almost distorted and floating somehow. Also, the custodian had a habit of whistling, so maybe another student or teacher. I tried to stay quiet. I don't want anyone to know that I'm in the girls' bathroom. Good thing I finished, so I put my feet up on the bowl and waited. I'll leave after this girl's done, I thought. I heard the stall next to me open, the last one from the door, and then the succeeding sound of a click on the lock. I feel like a pervert waiting for the sound of a girl peeing. I really hope she doesn't have to go number 2 right now. Then I heard it. A girl sobbing. I thought, oh no, poor girl. Because there was a lot of bullying going on in our school, mostly with the scholarship kids. Should I ask her what's wrong? No, I might scare her off. Should I just try leaving and give her some privacy? After a few minutes, I heard rustling of a bag. I thought maybe she'd finished crying and was getting a tissue or something, but it was something else. It was like metal scraping metal. The sound of a switchblade opening. What the hell is this girl doing? The sound that came after is still fresh inside my head. It still causes me nightmares from time to time. It sounded like metal on flesh, pain, whimpers, and choking and gurgling. I couldn't take it anymore and slammed the door open, but like an idiot, I slipped on the tile and crashed on the ground. My shoulder and arm hurt so bad, but I tried to ignore it. I got up and slammed my fist on the door. Hey, are you okay? It was locked, and I tried to ram my shoulder, trying to break it. She was not responding. Oh shit, is she dead? Miss? Then I heard behind me, hey kid, what are you doing? I jumped from the yelling, and it was the custodian standing there, mop in hand. Help, I think she hurt herself. What? He got down and checked under the stall. Nobody's there. No, no. I also checked under the stall, and nobody was there. I swear, that stall's been out of order for years now. I locked it from the inside, the custodian said. For a private school, they're cheap. I was speechless, and I'm sure I heard that girl, then something hit me. Was she a ghost? Are you high or something, kid? No, I grabbed my bag from the hook. I gotta go. See ya. Shit, maybe I am high or something. What really happened? Did I just imagine it? I'm not into the occult, but what's going on? On my way back, I passed through the hallway again. There's only 2 dirty footprints on the wet floor. My sneakers and the janitor's heavy boots. Number 3. Living in a rural area, I realize it has its perks. It is, after all, common knowledge that Philippine city roads at 6 a.m. and later are jam-packed, full of traffic, and no one wanted to be caught in it. However, as someone who has lived their entire life in the city, rural roads are another story altogether. A refreshing sight, actually. Less crowded and definitely no heavy traffic at any time of the day. I could basically leave at 6:50 a.m. for my 7 a.m. work and still get there in time. That being said, my grandma couldn't seem to process this information. Every Saturday at 4 a.m., she'd be up and about, hair tied up in a neat bun and an empty basket in hand. She'd wake me up, coax me into accompanying her to the town market to do grocery shopping, and leave the room, with me trailing behind her, still half asleep. I'd insist on leaving at 7, arguing that we'd still arrive at the market earlier than everybody else. She wouldn't budge. She never budges. We'd get dressed and leave, walk down the narrow sidewalk I've become quite accustomed to for the past month, and wait at the waiting shed for a tricycle to take us to the market. While the entire population snore their asses off in their warm beds, it is completely normal for me and my grandmother to go past this big old bamboo tree rooted beside the narrow sidewalk at 4 something in the morning. It has been a routine, a weird bonding moment of sort, I eventually learned to cherish it. I like to think she does as well too. Last Saturday, our normal bonding activity took a rather weird and creepy turn, however. Part of the Filipino culture is the belief of all sorts of mythological creatures. We've got flying vampires, or aswang. We've got tobacco smoking giants, or capre. We've got a half horse, half man, tikbalang, and many other weird ass creatures. We are firm believers in the supernatural, is what I'm trying to say. That being said, we also believe in ghosts or mumu. It was 4:30 in the morning, I assume, when we left our house last Saturday. We were alone, no one's awake at that time of the day. There is only fading moonlight and the glowing lamppost ahead to light our way as we walk down the familiar path. Everything's normal, nothing weird was going on, nothing that we've noticed at least. We continued walking past the big bamboo tree that loomed over the sidewalk with both our heads ducked down. It is worth mentioning that that particular bamboo tree is rumored to be housing some dark creatures that I mentioned earlier, and with only us, two feeble women walking next to each other, I didn't want to risk the chance of seeing one. I was so occupied at that certain thought that I almost didn't notice my grandma stopping dead in her tracks. It was only when someone limped past me that I noticed I've taken several steps ahead of my grandmother. I freaked out, of course, and ran back to her, bypassing the limping man who had walked past me earlier. I asked her, "What happened?" To which she answered with a brisk shrug and told me to keep quiet, so I did. The limping man stopped in front of us, and I swear to my neighbor's grave, the air stilled. I could hear everything all at once, the beating of my heart, the rushing of my blood, my shallow breaths above all else. Kinda like seeing your crush, though it's not the excitement that's pumping adrenaline into my system. It was fear. The unnerving thing about it was that I couldn't point out what brought out this reaction. Couldn't be the man, duh, he looked normal. Except the shabby clothes, but all things considered, he seemed pretty normal to me. Perhaps it was in the tightening of my grandmother's grip on my arm when she saw the man and the blank look on her face. The brim of his hat was pulled down low and he was limping on his right foot. He's got the stance of a determined man. His strides weakened by his apparent limp, but still as purposeful. Upon further inspection, I've noticed that his back was oddly hunched and he was wearing a rather outdated gorilla-like fashion, which was unsettling, but one that I didn't mind. "Hey, you do you, yeah?" He nodded and asked, "Quite early for a morning stroll, isn't it, ma'am?" My grandmother responded, "Yes, I'm going grocery shopping." Then he said, "Are you alone, ma'am?" And my grandmother said, "Oh no, I've got my granddaughter with me." In which he said, "Oh, definitely right to bring your granddaughter with you. It's quite dangerous to be walking alone in the streets." My grandmother told him, "Exactly." He told my grandmother he'll go ahead, in which my grandmother said, "That's fine." He nodded once more and limped past us, never looking back. There was a short pause between my grandmother and I, with both of us staring at each other with the weird looks of what just happened painted on our faces. When we finally had the nerve to look at where the man had gone, my knees buckled. I felt like I just got punched straight into the stomach. My legs turned to jelly, and my grandmother must have sensed this, for she grabbed my waist to support me. "Let's go," she whispered at me. I nodded. What caused me to fall was when I turned around, I saw the man standing there, completely impaled by a rifle. I hope you enjoyed the previous stories. Since this is a new channel and I'm hoping to go with it and continue for a couple years at least, if everyone could subscribe and like the videos, that would be much appreciated, and we can continue with bringing forward more content for everyone. Thank you for your time, and I can't wait to release another video for you.